Hello, you're watching Simple or Not Kitchen. My name is Melissa and today we're making this super delicious orange butter cake. We found this recipe in a cookbook that was published in 1939 and we're going to follow the recipe exactly as it was written. Following this recipe isn't one of the easier ones that we've done in Simple or Not Kitchen, but it's not terribly difficult either. And then at the end, I'll show you the easiest way ever to frost a cake. This recipe calls for the juice and the zest of one orange. So we're going to start by simply zesting our orange. Then we're going to cut that same orange in half and juice it. We need about a half a cup of orange juice. This recipe calls for 4 eggs that have been separated, and the egg whites we are going to beat until they have nice stiff peaks, and the yolks we are going to work separately into our sugar. So we're going to start by simply separating our eggs. Taking the time to separate our eggs like this and then beat our egg whites until we have nice stiff peaks is going to give our cake a really nice texture. And we're going to go ahead and beat our egg whites in our stand mixer. And keep in mind, this recipe was written in 1939, so a lot of home cooks probably did not have a stand mixer. They may have done this step by hand. So of course you can use an electric beater or do it by hand if you don't have a stand mixer. We're going to use the stand mixer today. And we're going to get started on our batter by creaming together 2 cups of sugar and half a cup of butter. And we're going to do this part by hand, although you could use an electric beater if you had one as well. When the sugar is fully incorporated into the butter, we're going to go ahead and take our 4 egg yolks and we're going to mix them in as well. After the eggs have been fully incorporated into the mixture, we're going to set this mixture aside. This recipe calls for 3 cups of flour and 2 teaspoons of baking powder, and the recipe calls for sifting those 2 ingredients together 3 times. So that's what we're going to do. Sifting the flour 3 times might seem a little tedious and it might seem a little unnecessary, but this process actually helps to aerate the flour a little bit, lighten it up, and will help to give this cake a nice, light, fluffy texture. In today's world where we do tend to rush things a little bit, this step is actually quite pleasant. It's nice to watch the baking powder and the flour go through the sifter a couple times and get lighter and lighter with each sifting. So if this part seems a little tedious to you, just relax and have fun with it, and like everything else, just enjoy every step of the process. So we're going to go back and forth between the 2 bowls 3 times so that the flour is sifted 3 times through the strainer. And I'm speeding this up a little bit in the video because this part took me probably about 25 minutes to fully strain the flour 3 times through the sifter. After we've sifted our flour, we're going to mix it in with our sugar, butter, and egg mixture, and we're going to alternate with a half a cup of water and our sifted flour. And when our batter is all together, we're going to go ahead and add our orange zest and our half a cup of orange juice, and we're going to mix that in. And then it's time to bring back our egg whites, which we have beat to a nice stiff peak consistency. We're going to very gently fold them into our yummy orange cake batter. This process can take a while as we want to be pretty gentle with those egg whites. And then it's finally time to bake our cake. I'm using an 11 by 8 inch pan. We're going to bake it at 350 degrees for about 35 minutes, and then when it comes out, this is what it looks like. By the way, it smells so delicious while it's cooking. It's cool. I'm going to invert it, and then it's going to take me 30 seconds to frost this cake. To frost this cake, you can of course make your own frosting. I'm going to go ahead and use a store-bought frosting. I'm going to microwave it for 30 seconds to make it nice and pourable. And then I'm just going to pour it right over the cake. And then I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of our extra orange zest right on top of the cake, and that's going to make it nice and pretty. And then our cake is done and it's ready to eat. This cake is super moist and super delicious. If you try it, let me know how it turned out. And thank you for watching Simple or Not Kitchen. More recipes, articles, and video are online at PennellCentral.com.